Okay, watch this. Look how aggressive you can be with this Brig. Look at that. Straight in. Killed someone with shield bash. He does 50 damage. Another kill. Mercy's trying to vouch. She's dead. Everyone's dead. Like, what the hell? We're witnessing. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's like a DPS Brig. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. I've got some new Overwatch 2 content. Can you believe it? What we're going to watch here is Jexay from the Dallas Fuel, or Jexay. I can't say his name. I do apologize for that. But he's a pro player and he's a pro support player. And what we're going to do is focus on the Brig rework and the Mercy rework. But before we get into this video, remember, all of this stuff could change. But as far as we know right now, this is the current state of these characters. Now, I do have more information, which we are going to go over in this video, because I was given the patch notes by Blizzard for this exhibition show match build. Now, remember, again, all of this stuff is probably totally different with the version of the game they're working on now, but still, this will give us a little bit of a kind of like a frame of reference to reference back to when we're watching this gameplay footage, because I've got the patch notes. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you guys the patch notes, but what I can do is read bits of them off. So before we start this, it is very important that we realize some key things, and this is role passives. So there are 3 role passives which are active at the moment in this build of the game. And the first one's for tanks, and tanks get 30% knockback resistance and 50% lower ultimate generation from damage taken and healing taken. So I think we kind of already knew that anyway. At damage, they move 10% faster, so they're quicker. And support, this is the key one, this is what's going to matter with this video. After 2 seconds, without being damaged, they regenerate 10 HP. Now, why that's interesting is when we get onto the Mercy gameplay in a second, you'll kind of... It's a bit baffling. We'll get into that. Firstly, though, we're going to start with Brig. So we're going to hit play on the footage, and we're going to check this out. So this is on New York, which is one of the brand new maps for Overwatch 2. You will, if you're very... if you listen out, you'll hear different sound effects and stuff going on. Again, remember, all of this isn't final. A lot of things could change. Like, I keep hearing the sound effect for when you get knocked down in archives missions. Maybe that's a new sound effect for when players get downed. I don't know. It could be. It might not be. I don't know. Remember, all of this is like, take it with a pinch of salt. Anyway, these are the Brig rework details that we've got in this build of the game. So this very Brig we're watching right here. Inspire, right now, this is huge. This is actually huge. Heal total has been reduced from 90 to 75. Now, that's not great, but get this. It now activates from all damage dealt, including shield bash. Now, if you watch in this VOD, you will see that Inspire is up a hell of a lot. Whip shot, Inspire, well, you kind of used to do that anyway, but you get Inspire. You melee damage, you get Inspire. Shield bash, you get Inspire. It comes from everywhere. You have Inspire up a lot. And remember, you've got your passive where if you're out of combat, you get self-healing. So there's a lot of self-healing going on for Brig. Brig's actually really, really tanky. The other thing you might have noticed as well here is Brig can charge further with a shield bash. Now, it no longer stuns, but this is the shield bash details. So no longer stuns, as I just said. Damage increased from 5 to 50. Now, again, remember, all of this can change. All of these figures can change before it goes live. But this gives us insight into what the devs are trying to do with this character. Clearly, they don't like crowd control, and I think they don't like crowd control across a lot of the characters in the game. Anyway, I remember there was talk of removing McCree's flashbang and a bunch of stuff like that. However, Brig no longer stuns, right? Cooldown is reduced from 7 to 5 seconds, so you can shield bash more often. Range, it moves you, has increased from 7 to 12 meters. Again, that's pretty massive. So you can shield bash further away, and you do 50 damage when you hit a target. And it no longer stops your movement when you impact a barrier. So those are the details we've got for this Brig rework that we are seeing here in this gameplay. Now, again, remember, this is probably the first time these players have played on this map. It's the first time they've played Overwatch 2. It's going to be rough. There's going to be bits and pieces all over the place. But hopefully you have noticed, as I've been rambling about the details of this Brig rework, is she's very... It's weird to say, but she feels very tanky. She feels more tanky than she is on live, but she doesn't have stun, but it's been replaced with the ability to do a bunch of damage, and she can do a bunch of damage. There was actually... in fact, I just want to kind of... whatever, we'll carry on with this. I'll maybe edit that in a bit later. But there was a point where Brig killed a lot of people. You guys probably watched it as I was blabbing off about the patch notes. But yeah, you can see there, like, look at the ability to close the distance down there on Violet is actually disgusting. Of course, you know, Jexay was wildly out of position there. I don't know what he was doing. But remember, they're just testing. They're just going in. It's like, hey, let's go in. Let's do it. Let's see what we can do. But this Brig, she just doesn't... Like, I guess the very simple way to look at her is she doesn't stun, but now she does more damage. And she's got more healing because her healing is active, or it's easier to keep her healing active, basically. I know Inspire's been reduced down from, what were the figures, from 90 to 75, but it's just easier to keep Inspire going. We can see Rally being used here as well. Again, a bit weird, there's no voice line, but they're probably all being updated for Overwatch 2, and they don't have the files, or they don't want to show them off. D.Va being the only tank on the blue team is probably in for a bad time, but not as bad as Jexay, because he gets pulse bombed by Glister, and he's absolutely dead, and there's some sort of luggage with a ton of ammunition flowing everywhere. But D.Va's one for a completely different video. I think we do have D.Va footage we can go over. D.Va maybe looks a little bit like she dies very fast, and you get demeched very quickly in this build of Overwatch 2. But yeah, look how fast you can get back to the fight with Brig. It's great. She's just got more movement, does more damage, and I think that's a pretty good trade-off for the stun, because the stun was the annoying component with Brig. Or was it the fact that she's very survivable? I don't know. Now she's maybe arguably a bit more survivable. It's very obvious what Brig is. Brig is the tanky support, in a way. She is hard to kill. She's got a lot of AoE healing. She's got, obviously, a repair pack she can throw out and heal people up with them. Like, you see, look, she's getting pressured there. Didn't even need to really disengage from that. I mean, the damage she was taking was not that much. Tons of healing, just trying to push the Tracer away. Nearly got with the shield bash. But again, remember, it's not going to stop the Tracer, but it's going to do 50 damage to it. And to a Tracer, that's a hell of a lot of damage. If you're hitting them with melee and then shield bashing them, all it takes is somebody else on your team to turn around, literally look at the target, especially if it's a DPS, and they will kill them. And I think that's exactly what they're trying to do with Brig. So I like this. I actually genuinely like this Brig. What they're doing is making her more offensive, I guess, in a way, at the trade-off of the stun. Now, I think there's going to be, obviously, a hell of a lot of debate on this. I want you guys to let me know what you think about it in the comments below. But it's very early days. Remember, all the figures that I've just told you guys are just, like, they could change. But you can see the direction they're going in. So let's talk about Mercy now, because Jexay is going to play Mercy. Now, I think these changes they've made to Mercy are to maybe make her not as good at what she's actually doing right now. That is pocketing an Echo or pocketing a Pharah. Basically any form, or even an Ashe, just any kind of Mercy pocket. Kind of make it not as powerful so it can be broken through. So remember, you've got the passive, and I'll read the passive off to you guys again. So this is for support. After 2 seconds without being damaged, regenerate 10 heals per second, health per second. Now, Mercy already kind of... Well, Mercy's was better than that, right? That was Mercy's passive. It still is Mercy's passive, right? However, what they've done is they've reduced the passive. So, regen passive has been reduced from 20 to 10 health per second. And the dev comment is it's the same value as before when combined with the support role passive. Which is a bit boring, right? I'm going to be honest, that is absolutely boring. And the other change to Mercy is the Caduceus staff. Healing has been reduced from 55 to 50. So, she does less healing. And a passive is half as good as it was, but it kind of makes up for it because all the supports can now heal themselves. But remember, in an Overwatch world, the supports couldn't heal themselves. Only Mercy could heal herself. Well, okay, Anna could throw a grenade into the floor. Lucio could, you know, heal. Okay, you get what I'm saying, right? But as a passive, as an out-of-combat heal, Mercy was the only one that had that, really. So they've cut it in half and then built it back up with it. It's just messy. I think they're missing a trick here. This is boring as hell to me. I hope to God this isn't how Mercy launches, because there's so much they could do with Mercy. You look at the changes they made to other heroes, and then you look at Mercy, and they seem to be content with the way Mercy plays at the moment, just by reducing her healing output, which is weird. And also, on the subject of healing, we do need to discuss this, because this is in this build. Now, heroes who have been damaged within the last 4 seconds receive 25% less healing. This does not affect some mechanics such as health packs or some sources of self-healing, Primal Rage, Roadhog, Take a Breather, and Reaper Lifesteal and such like that. I think I made my thoughts pretty clear on what I thought about that in a previous video. I don't like this at all. I don't even know if this is in the game anymore. But remember, guys, this is just what we're seeing here, and this is a build of the game from a while ago, right? This is from the Overwatch League finals. This was games played, I guess, in between matches, or as matches were being played that we didn't get to see. So the game's probably radically different. I think we're going to go back to Brig, yeah. So, I don't know. I just feel like they could do a lot more with Mercy. I think my issue with Mercy doesn't have any kind of, like... She doesn't have, like, any burst potential, like, any pop-off potential. She doesn't have a burst heal. She doesn't have, like, burst damage. I kind of would like it if she did have that. Because I think she's great as she is. I think she's good. But I just feel like now, if this is the best time to make mad changes, why not give her some, like, give her offensive abilities? I don't know. We even seen that, didn't you? If you guys remember back to the, oh, what was it? I think it was the BlizzCon Online. They did like a little showcase. They actually showed her firing like pulses of damage, I think, out of a staff or something ridiculous. You know, maybe that's stuff for PvE though and not PvP. I don't know. I just feel like it's just a bit meh, the Mercy changes. The Brig change is fine. You know, again, it's not like a complete radical overhaul of Brig, but they're getting rid of the stun, and what they're doing is giving her more movement, giving her more damage, giving her more inspire uptime. And I think that's honestly, I think that's fine. The healer I really worry about is Zen, because I feel like Discord Orb must be absolutely devastating in this. It's got to be devastating. Like, what you think of a Sombra, right? Sombra's passive, she does more damage to targets that she hacks. What happens if that target is hacked and discorded? It's literally going to explode from Sombra alone. And it makes me laugh to think about it. It's like, what the hell? But the good news is at least we've got new stuff to look at. We've got new Overwatch 2 stuff, and we can start discussing what's going on with the game. It is just, again, and I've said it repeatedly throughout this video, and I must say, I can't remember where I said this at the top of the video, but the Blizzard devs did explain this to us the other day. You know, they got us into a Zoom call. They said, look, this is what we're trying to do. These are the patch notes. And you know, yada, yada, yada. This is where we are with the game. This is what we're trying to do. It wasn't super in-depth, but it was an attempt to kind of shine the light on what's going on. And also, oh, this is kind of cool, the subway area. But also, we've got to be very aware that things change all the time. So in some ways, it's a little bit weird that we do get to see this, because this isn't how the game plays. And also, how the game plays right now, because clearly they would have changed it. This is an old build. But it's still that fundamental issue where I know a lot of you guys out there are watching this video, you know, just like me. I mean, hey, I played Overwatch 2 in 2019. It's a completely different game. But you're watching this video, and the only reference point you've got is Overwatch. It's okay me reading patch notes off to you. It's like, whatever. But, like, does this look any different than Overwatch? You've got to tell me in the comments below. Because remember, it is 5v5 now. There should be more agency on each player to make a play. More agency on players to get things done. All right, guys, let me know what you think about these, the Brig and the Mercy reworks so far in the comments below. And, yeah, I think it's going to be pretty spicy. This is pretty spicy indeed. I think this is the end of the map. Here it is. Nice kill there on the Tracer. Well, Jack's looking pretty good. Oh, and by the way, that green health, in fact, let me just pause that. Let me just pause this here, because there was green health on the bar. Let me just... Okay, check below me, right? There's green health on the bar. Let me explain what this is in this current build of Overwatch 2. So it's a change to health, and this is temporary shield and armor health pools have been combined into a single overhealth pool, a temporary green color. So you can see Brig's armor is still there because Brig has innate armor. She's not giving herself armor. She spawns with armor, right? But any additional stuff that she gets counts as green, counts as over healing or over health. And affected abilities, are Brig's Rally, because obviously it gives armor to people who generally don't have armor, but it would appear as green. Doomfist Shield Game passive, Lucio Sound Barrier, Sigma Kinetic Grasp, Torbjorn Overload, and Wrecking Ball Adaptive Shields will all now show as green. It is a singular sort of mechanic to make things a little bit easier to understand. Anyway, we'll just play this through to the end. We did skip back a little bit just to get to that. But yeah, in terms of what I'm going to do with the other stuff that we've got, I think we're going to take a look at some of the other characters, probably take a look at tanking, because I think tanking is the issue, right? Because, like, there's no form to this game that we've seen, is there, so far? It's just like everyone is all over the place. It looks like a crazy deathmatch. You know, maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. Maybe it's just because it's their first time playing. We don't know. All right, guys. Thank you for watching the video. It's been my pleasure to produce this for you guys. And like I said, I'm going to go away now and start making a bunch more of videos so we can check out the other stuff which is going on with Overwatch 2. But like I said, comment below and let me know what you think about all of this stuff, especially Brig and Mercy from what we've seen so far. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video, and I'll catch you lovely lot on the next one. Toodaloo.